Hello, this is Art Johnson with New World Communication, and welcome to week 3 of building the Climate Action Consortium. We've made a commitment to do a 52-week series that's going to transform the planet by engaging people across generations, across genders, across communities, across market sectors, across the entire planet. And so we welcome for you to join us and to see how we're doing it and to help empower you to take some action right along there with us. I think everybody that I've met cares about the climate and living on Earth and sustaining the Earth, but don't quite know how. And so we're the how-to people bridging across people and speeding that up in a very, very timely way. So we're talking about building the Climate Action Consortium, and this is an intelligent and timely resource built in divinely guided steps. One day we'll get to that for those who are interested in this. And it's not woo-woo, it's just really based on natural science and what we've discovered from our experience, our lived experience on planet Earth. This is week 3, January the 17th, 2023. And my name is Art Johnson. I'm the CEO and Chief Learning Officer at New World Communications. And this is our contact information if you want to get a hold of us. So our mantra involves addressing the Earth's pressing climate change challenges as creative and innovative climate action opportunities. And so we see this as a challenges and an opportunity to use what we call right thinking. That's a really old term that really makes relevance today. And it also involves right action. And it involves the whole brain. There's a whole human potential movement that started in the late 50s that actually before that even, that talks about using your whole brain here for both hemispheres. The left hemisphere, which is known for kind of mathematical, logical, symbolic, linear, orderly, objective detail stuff, which we've heard a lot of from scientists, but there's also this heartfelt side, the right thinking that's artistic, creative, and very engaging. It kind of sees a big picture. It's got a lot of imagination, and it's really the innovation that's really going to drive the use of technology and the use of our humanity to really do something amazing stuff. And that's what we're about. And one of the ways we're doing it is using Zoom. We're actually streaming it, we're simulcasting to YouTube Live and Facebook Live across planet Earth. And we think it's a great resource to use. We've been walking through the virtual door since 1997, starting to make websites and doing e-storefronts and then moving into using face-to-face technology like Zoom and other platforms. And it's really great because we realize it has near zero carbon footprint. And it's ultra eco-friendly. It also has big reach across the planet just by logging on and being there. And it's potentially very learning rich. And it's virtual face-to-face architecture. And it's allowing us to build our virtual enterprise across the planet. We're based in Linwood, Washington, near Seattle, but we have a presence across the planet. It's ultra accessible, and that makes it actually more democratic too, and delivers phenomenal advantage. It even goes to smartphones, so people can be in the field, doing field reporting and things like that we have planned. So we're starting out by using Zoom to build our consortium across Washington State. So we'll call that the Washington State chapter. That'll be composed of 39 counties with 281 cities across the state and 7.39 million people. So our goal is to at least build 332 chapter leaders across Washington State. And because of Zoom, very quickly, we are starting to engage with other people in the United States and across the planet, starting like with California in our time zone, same time zone, and discovering some great resources there. So our goal is all 50 states. And we're starting to use some because of Zoom and because of our connecting with people in a head and heartfelt way. We've discovered the Elders Action Network, which is really amazing. And we also, through that network, we found a link to David Attenborough's amazing documentary called A Life on Our Planet. And we're going to be using our storytelling tools, our e-learning suite of services for building the Climate Action Consortium as part of our mobilization campaign. And also, one of the things that I asked myself early in this game is, Johnson, what story what are you called to tell? What story do you need to evolve and manifest, in your lifetime? And so that helped me to kind of dig too deep into the structure of story and to develop a template, which I'll share with you. And then we're going to let's talk about the Elders Action Network. I'm an elder. An elder in our kind of lingo is a conscious senior, not one who's sitting back in the rocking chair or is, kind of resigned to be, a victim of ageism, but someone who's still taking action in some kind of meaningful way. They could be volunteering, or they could actually be producing great content, which the Elders Network seems to be doing. It's one Earth, one humanity, and one future. And look at the kind of action that they're taking. They have a group called the Elders for Sound Democracy. They have a group called Elders for Climate Action, Elders for Regenerative Living, Elders for Social Justice, and they are building chapters across the United States and across the planet. So we're connecting up with them and trying to serve them well with what we know from our global communications and learning resources and experience that we have. So this is really a great thing. I encourage you to kind of take a look at this and look at their event schedule. They have a book study group. They're doing these world cafes. They're really, really, really creative. And I'm meeting with some of the leadership that is just amazing, really, really bright people. Here are just some of the team members that are there. This is not the whole thing, but these are the major ones behind the scenes, really grabbing content and putting it up there and doing the newsletter and sharing some great things. These are all very dedicated people. This is a nonprofit organization too. And so you can actually, help them out by funding them. There are going to be some initiatives we can do that can help drive more funds so they have more reach and capacity building and all of that. So this is really good. One of the things that we found was a link on the Elders newsletter, which gets emailed to us, by the way. We suggest you subscribe to it because there's great content here, was the information about David Attenborough's A Life on Our Planet, a major documentary that is really, really neat. So what I really like about this is that he's a master storyteller. So for one of the things for training people and empowering them to tell a good story, it's really good a chance to be a critical viewer of other people's content and see how they are doing that, because you can absorb a lot of that, and that can then turn around and have you be a critical doer of your own content, not necessarily by using a major film crew having to go all over the world, but using what you have in your palm of your hand. It could be a smartphone that it has broadcast quality. And we have a broadcast background in distance learning. And we're just really eager to share with this. We're doing this over Zoom with also some mobile reporters that can do some really great content here. But going back to him, David Attenborough has a lifetime of lived experience in the natural world. Very early as a kid, when he talks about how he just liked to explore fossils in an old quarry and wonder, about the earth. And then later on, starting to actually tour and be a filmmaker for, doing a lot of stuff for nature on PBS. You've seen some of this amazing footage. And he's a very passionate and he's doing a timely wake-up call to action. He produced this at age 93. He's 96 now, and he's still really going strong, which is really good example of an elder taking really meaningful climate action. He's a good right-thinking person and a good right-acting person with some great wisdom his whole life, that he's saying, this is my investment in humanity, and his love for nature, which is it's just amazing stuff. And he lectures he's actually meeting with the people at the climate change conference of 2018. And then, he's actually using some of his footage to show the animal, just his heart for the animals and how they're, suffering from what we're doing to them. And, he's into regenerating biodiversity and of dealing with climate change by taking climate action now. And so to pick that theme up, we're going to be using our own storytelling tools, our whole suite of e-learning services for building the Climate Action Consortium. That's including explainer video services that we do. We do stuff in 3D with a great 3D program to do scenario-based empowerment and to model appropriate, socially responsible corporate behavior, leadership behavior, what they ought to be doing because they have such a huge carbon footprint. And we're doing virtual focus groups and strategic plannings across the planet, across the state of Washington, US, and the world. And we're using YouTube programming, which is what we're doing here, and channel development, and offering those services to other organizations. We're offering workshops and courses on demand that we can produce. And we're doing mobilization campaign services here, using a whole suite of services here to build and arrive at virtual conferences, trade shows, and job fairs that can really employ people across generations and really bring people together. And this will also drive more demand for instructional design services. We're senior instructional designers and chief learning officers for New World Communications, and really have a lot of innovative approach that could do a world of good for organizations, both private and public, nonprofit and for-profit. And we're actually streaming physical world live events. So even if you're a person or people that are not techno-literate, they could come to a physical world location somewhere on the planet and see something projected to them and be a part of a meeting, to be there by just logging on and being there and bringing the world together. And so we're actually doing global strategic partnership building. So what is this all about? Why are we doing this mobilization campaign? It's to create a global strategic partnership. So what we're talking about is doing this across generations, across genders, across communities, across market sectors, across the US, across our planet, through collaborative storytelling, doing it over Zoom, to YouTube Live and to Facebook Live, and across all kinds of social media, training and empowering ourselves to effectively tell our very own climate action story really, really well, and really reaching out to film and television professionals to help us do this. And I've asked myself, and the reason why I came to this after discovering this is that I'm a part of, there's a whole climate action story evolving that I'm really, it's really told me to jump into studying the structure of story and how to tell it right. And so I've developed a storyboard script form, and I started to fill it out. And I'll just talk about this a little bit. The exposition is us realizing that over 10,000 years, we've had a stable climate and environment and ecosystem, but now we discovered because of climate change and 200 years of using fossil fuels that we're putting our whole climate and our planet at risk. And so that's our plot point one that moves us from exposition to what we call challenge. And the challenge has involved becoming aware of an inconvenient truth, on a broader basis, experiencing 10 plus years of engineered climate denial on the part of the industry. So it could allow it sounds to migrate and transform and try to command an alternative energy market, which they are on the way to trying to do. And then that moves us, and then really, realizing now, because we've seen all this horrible climate action in California, the fires and the droughts and the mass migrations and the disruption of civil society with threats of war and all kinds of things, that we're facing really the mass extinction of human life, sixth mass extinction of species life on the planet. And so, but we don't stop there, because this sense of hope that I have, particularly with the things that we can do now across the internet, that we can actually form, in this challenge, we can meet this challenge. And that's where plot point two comes in, is building the Climate Action Consortium. And it creates resolution. So people come together aware, and we increase the awareness across the planet and engagement. And, we even see, we create demonstrable social proof by the changes that we take and the innovation and the, how we use our creativity to solve this issue with head and heart, and bringing the world's knowledge and all the people together to do this, in service of all species life on the planet. So I'm going to stop my share right now and invite you to join us. Join the Climate Action Consortium. And we'll do it with you, and we'll train and empower you. And this is all about feel good. And it's going to be a really good initiative. We're going to do it over Zoom and YouTube and Facebook and all other platforms we can find, to really do this in an effective and timely way. So I invite you to give me a call. You can call me or text me at 206-920-8067, or email us at support@newworldcom.com, or visit us at www.newworldcom.com. And I look forward to working with you. Thank you so much.